I think the biggest pill to swallow for those of us going through affair recovery is acknowledging that our healing is 100% completely up to us. And I get it. I know what's screaming through your mind right now as you hear me say that. But they had the affair. They have to fix this. They need to help us. You know, they need to make sure that we're healing. They need to do their part, all this kind of stuff. And I do agree with you to an extent. But I think it's important that we recognize our role in our own recovery and how vital it is so that we can heal, so that we can get to the other side of this to a healthier place. So stay tuned. Okay, so our healing is critical. I think you would agree with that. We are grieving, we are traumatized, and we are hurting deeply and trying to figure out how to heal, especially if we've chosen to stay in our marriage. And I'm assuming that maybe while you're watching this video, it's challenging to heal and still try to heal a marriage at the same time. So we're trying to heal ourselves, we're trying to heal the marriage, and we're living in the same house with the person who hurt us very deeply and trying to figure all that out. So there's a lot happening, and I think we tend to slip into almost a victimhood mentality. This has been done to me, therefore it's your job, you have to fix it, pointing at our husband, right? Like, you did this, you fix it, you have to make me feel better, you have to help me heal, you have to help me believe that I'm beautiful, you have to do all of these things, okay? And to some degree, I think that's just normal, and I think we're all going to go through that. I think that we're hurting, and that a lot of that is lashing out from a place of pain, you know, blaming and expecting a lot from him. And all of those things are completely and 100% accurate when it comes to the reason why we're in this situation. Yes, they do have a role to play. They need to acknowledge what they did. They need to feel remorse for what they did. And they need to be willing to do their part to move forward in a healthy way to create a safe environment so we can feel safe in the marriage to heal. And that includes, we talked about this in other videos, so I won't go into all that for the sake of this video, but they do have a role to play. But when it comes to our healing, that lives in our boundary. And you know, guys, I beat boundaries over the head all the time in these videos, but they're so critical. Because what belongs in our boundary, and if you've watched my videos, you know there are 3 important things that belong in our boundary. Our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions, right? So if those 3 things are our responsibility, that's our healing right here in our boundary. And if it belongs to us, asking our husband to come take and carry something that belongs to us isn't appropriate, nor is it helpful. Our husband has no idea how to help us heal. They're trying to heal themselves. They're trying to get through their own recovery process. So to have those expectations of him, to really be leaning into him like that and expecting that of him is almost unfair. But at the same time, it's mostly unfair to us, because to truly heal, we have to be 100% engaged in our own healing process. So what does that look like? Okay, so let's say you agree with me and you go, yes, you're right, it's 100% my job. And then I think we're kind of left standing there going, now what? You know, okay, how does this work? How do I heal? Well, first, I would invite you to make sure you have a fantastic counselor. That is a great first step. And if you want to work with a coach instead, I would love a chance to talk to you. But either way, find someone who can help walk this journey with you, because here's what that other person can help you do. Emotions are super powerful. The way we function as human beings is our emotions drive our thoughts that drive our actions. So when our emotions are a mess, and I think you would agree that our emotions are a mess right now, right? When our emotions are a mess after we find out about the affair, that leads to crazy thoughts and thoughts that we can't manage, that leads to actions that we may not be super proud of. So when we're trying to heal, we have to calm that stuff down. We have to figure out how to manage these emotions. We have to figure out what to do with with all of this stuff going on inside of us. Another person who has no dog in the fight, a person who can just be neutral and listen and advise, well, that's the person that can help you move forward. So that would be my first piece of advice, is to get someone to help you through that. Find ways, number 2, find ways to pour your energy into yourself. It's pour energy into you first, and by you, by extension, that means if you have children, that means that you pour energy into yourself to take care of your kids, you pour energy into yourself to do your job, you pour energy into yourself to be able to get out of bed in the morning. That's what I'm talking about. The second thing is to pour energy into your marriage. I think sometimes we get these backwards. I think I did for a while. I was so desperate to save my marriage that I wasn't working on me. I was so busy just trying to make sure my marriage worked that I didn't stop and really do the work on me. And I regret that. I wish I would have done that differently. But, I did end up doing that, and I'm so happy I did. But early on, I didn't. So pour your energy into you first, because you're no good to anybody, to your husband, to your marriage, to your job, or anything, if you're not doing the work to heal yourself, to work through the grief, to work through the trauma, to really get to a place where you can think clearly and you can move forward in a healthy way. Okay? So, number 2, pour your energy into you. Now, I am a huge advocate for journaling. I don't know if you journal or if that's your thing or not. Some people, it's not their thing, and it's fine. You can ignore this number 3 if that's not your thing. But sometimes we have a hard time healing and processing because there's too much happening. And especially if you don't have a counselor to talk to and you don't have a friend you've confided in or something, sorting out what's going on in your heart and your mind is very challenging. But if you have a journal, you can start to write down those thoughts when they come to you. Write down the questions you have. Write down the concerns you have. Write down those things that are pressing on your heart and really making it hard for you to be present for your kids, for your job, for your husband. Start working through that on paper. What happens over time is you can look back and you can see the progress you're making. Because again, healing takes time. It takes a long time. And we feel very frustrated sometimes. We don't feel like we're making progress and we're moving forward. But when we look back at that journal, we can actually see the progression of our healing process and go, oh, wow, okay. Well, I guess it was good. I guess, I did do a good job, or I guess I have been healing and I just didn't know it. So whatever that may be, journaling is a big help. But you notice all of those things I just mentioned, all 3 things are all about what you do. I did not mention one thing about your husband doing anything, okay? Because he can't fix it. He can't take it back. He can't heal you. You have the power to do that. Take that power for yourself. Lean into that. If you don't do these things, do something. Do something for you to help you move beyond the pain of this affair. You'll get there, okay? But definitely hold on to this as something that is completely and utterly up to you. I hope this video has been helpful to you, and I hope you're going to walk away feeling empowered to do the healing work for yourself. Right below this video, you're going to have 3 links. The first one's a video that I created that's free and full of great information. It's about an hour long. It's good stuff, so make sure you go and check that out. And if you're interested in coaching, that's your way to get a hold of me. There'll be a way for you to set an appointment to talk to me. No pressure and no obligation. I just want a chance to see if I can be of service to you in your healing journey. The second link is a free guide that I hope will be helpful to you. And then the third is a link to join our private Facebook group. And I do hope you consider that as well. And in the meantime, remember, healing is up to you.